Good morning, friends. I don't know how I'm going to do with this and trying to get the lighting right. It's really kind of blinding right now, but it seems to do good for the picture, so I'm going to try with it. Okay, this is June 26th. The Mayan day is 6 Vulture, or Wisdom, and this is in the Unplugged series. Unplug from the matrix, deconstruct beliefs, and it's step out of the box. The fear is not ours. Strategy of the powers that be. What, oh what, is the energy telling me today? What's different? What speaks? What, too, has become more solid, as it were? Where am I in the midst of this? What has changed? It's a blessing, I find, to start each day out with questions like this. Spoken from heart, of course, never the mind, for what it would report would only be lies when seen from the perspective of mind. Mind's reports are true, but only for a certain level, the 3D level to which we are no more. Nor were we ever truly restricted. That's part of the programming we're in process of throwing off now. We were made to believe we were that. They, or the powers that be, created boxes, dungeons, and spells, frankly, to entrap us. They're not above that. But here's a secret they don't want you to know. We were never really trapped. We were only ever trapped to the extent that we believed in these boxes. Thus, you see, we trapped ourselves. That's the only way it could happen. Free will still exists. I repeat, they can't trap you. You trap yourself. Now that the scales are falling off of our eyes, we begin to see this. We may have had the great masters down through the years all telling us something like this, but while hypnotized, we just couldn't hear. Or rather, we did hear, but only from mind. The way out, our freedom, just doesn't lie there. There's no way out through the mind. At least that's a fact that I've found. Now, that doesn't mean it's all been for naught. That's only the mind chiming in, once again, trying to understand. Let that go, that thought, put it down. Now enter heart. That's where your true freedom lies. See that you spend as much time in there as possible as you go through your day. And that's a big secret. It unlocks a big lock. Everything you ever went through has ultimate worth. Take a pause. Nothing was for nothing. And sit with that a moment. Ultimate worth. Everything, even and especially the tough stuff. Ultimate worth. How could that be, you say? Well, be in heart with it. Get strictly out of the head. If you want wisdom, it is not a quality of 3D mind. You find it in heart. Go there and settle down. Now listen again. Everything you've been through has ultimate worth. Get a read on that. Only take it from heart. not the head. Let the head take a break. Yes, it's been hell. And yes, much of it just wasn't right. And yes, it's gone on way too long. Nonetheless, ultimate worth. Be in heart. Ultimate worth. Sink down into that. Ultimate worth. Never a wrong step. No, not one. Not once, not ever. Unbite the apple. We've made it, and we've made the ultimate lemonade of all of this, my friends. We see that as we wake up. And that's what light beings do all the time. Take whatever comes and turn it to blessing. It's in our nature. We can't be hurt. Well, sure, the bodies, they come and go. Just like everything else on the planet, in the galaxy, the universe, the cosmos, the creation. Physical things do that. That is not you. Not me, not mine, not that. Pull back. Say this quietly inside yourself when you're tempted to find identity with anything physical. Not me, not mine, not that. Time is ripe to center down, back down into your own true identity. One thing I can guarantee you, whatever it is, if it's physical, it's not that. You abide in the physical, not as that. You are not that. So center back into consciousness. Let go of dense matter. And just a step back, that's all. Keep stepping back. You don't have to go off into some cave and be a yogi to do this. And then just watch and observe. You will be led, especially when you keep your center in heart. I often suggest for and assist with this, stepping back, go view some info on NDEs, near-death experiences. And I've put a link in the text file. See what people say who go through this, whose bodies die, and then they get revived. It can truly help you, or it helped me, take a major step back or up and out of identifying with the flesh. The body is beautiful, wonderful, and also of ultimate worth. That's not the issue. It's just that you are not that. Once you develop this stepping back, this distancing between you and the body, and everything physical, you can take a deep spiritual breath. You have space in which to breathe now. Spiritual space. You get rid of, you step up and out of a whole level of chaos and confusion, which has been used by the dark force to create static and chaos for the being or spirit that you are, to separate you out from that. Now, it does not matter that there are dark beings or energies that are such masters of physical energies, and mental ones too. This is nothing to you, to the being you already are. And you have always been that. This has just been hidden from you, from us. So, take a step back and keep stepping back whenever you find yourself getting too deep into something. Step back and take that deep spiritual breath and recenter. Like recent. Remember, be no longer dismembered. You are not that. Those beings, the powers that be, the dark ones, they have no ultimate power. They are big fish in a very small pond, and they're in the process of finding that out. Their abilities are all smoke and mirrors to the real being that you already are. Their main tools are deception and fear. Step out of fear and they lose their hold over you. So you do the whole cosmos a service when you take time to process your fear. That will undo them. Fear is a necessary part of the hypnosis they practice on mankind as a whole. And it's funny because they're projecting their fear on us. Unless we somehow choose to buy into this, though, they, the dark ones, have no power at all. It's a choice. Remember, please, that this life, with this one body you're conscious of right now, is a play on some level. You are not that. You have just placed some of your energy into it. You are using that to have a place, a part in the action in this time of ascension that's going down now. So just keep stepping back. Keep remembering, oh, I only use that. I am not that. I place my energy into it. I work with it, but still, ultimately, I am not that. Keep the necessary distance from it so that your perspective can be higher, your vision more clear. And many of you have already made so many steps along this trajectory, nor this journaling would not even hold your attention. I am finding myself that though it was perhaps a decade or two ago that I came to finally know that I am not the body, still, even so, I find ways cropping up at times that help me unplug even more. We get the overall picture, but that's not the whole dance. That's just what gives us the vision, the perspective, if you will, to then take the necessary steps to unwind the grave cloths they've buried us in, the tangled web of the programming that's been installed in the physical, mental vehicle we use, the body-mind. It's a spiral of light overall that we're ascending, if you step back enough. Ultimately, we're all traversing the spiral of light upwards. Nonetheless, there's also a net or a web aspect of the energies in which we've gotten entangled. Now, you'll be guided each and every step of the way perfectly how to untangle your personal web. It has no strength, no power against you. So don't take it as a fight. Don't resist. Don't oppose it. Just take joy in the unthreading of all the dark ones have thrown your way. Have great fun with this. It's possible. It's an attitude. Follow your bliss. It's also a choice. It can also be seen as the many layers of substance that we're working our way through. Different perspectives, same thing. There are so many ways to see this. They're unlimited, frankly. Just take the vision your heart presents and work with that. When it's time to change it, heart will have already done that. You can trust heart. Learn to rely on that, on nothing outside, only within. Now, be gentle with yourself. No self-criticism, condemnation. Ignore all that self-talk. That's just mind. When you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, recognize that. Pause a moment, if you can, to just be with yourself. Get the sense of what's going on there. Where does that overwhelm come from? Pause and tune in. You're not subject to that. Step back from it. Know, simply know that you have your own inner guidance system and that you connect up with it in heart. It is ever and always there for you. The secret here is that you've got to be quiet to listen. You can't easily do this in the midst of the electronic soup and chaos around you. So take some time to back out and off. See if you can carve even the smallest of quiet space around you to enable your hookup within. It doesn't take much once you've got the hang of it. You'll get better and quicker at making this space for this to happen. It's not that hard. Be detached from your ideas as well. That's where most of the programming, if not all of it, resides. It's in your mind. Subconscious, unconscious. Sorry, but there's not a lot about mind right now that you can trust. Not until mind has been tamed, has been thoroughly ousted from the driver's seat in your life. Once mind takes its rightful place as subservient to heart, only then can a trustworthiness become present in your interactions with mind. Until then, do not trust. You see, it's not a matter of how you interact with the outside world. I find no answers there. It's about taking up your right sense of self. Your base of operations has to be right, has to be solid. And that's your foundation here in 3D. Who and what am I? That's the master, the worthy question to ask, to repeatedly ask yourself, no matter what situation you're in, who and what is acting, who and what feels fear, who and what is overwhelmed, etc. This is a powerful exercise, but not until you're ready for it. Until then, it's just a toy for the mind to play games with you, and it will. You'll know the difference when it comes on you. You just will. There is a depth to your being that most of us don't access at all during the day, or very seldom. Many of us are more our real self at night in our dreams. We've been that thoroughly hypnotized. And don't think that this group, this dark cabal, the powers that be, don't work to mess with us in the dream state as well. They do. We're not free of them there. Still, we're more our real selves in that state and less easy to control. Once you begin to find yourself lucid or present in your dreams, you'll know more what I mean. Now, I put out a warning here that some will resist. So listen from heart. Don't go for these abilities themselves. Lucid dreaming, out-of-body travel, telepathy, telekinesis, etc., etc. They are nothing to the real you. If you let the mind drag you into developing these things, they are like parlor tricks. It's the real you you're after remembering reconnecting up with. Find your center. Everything else flows from that. So keep going within. Let this other stuff happen when it will. These things will come on naturally. Not as much as mind would like to think or it wants to play with them, but you've got to drop mind. There's no need to go for them. They will just appear. They're just natural, like taste, touch, and smell. These are natural abilities. So many people get lost chasing these talents, seeking to develop these natural abilities of spirit. We all have them, and we'll step into them. Let them come in their right time. They're a part of being out there centered, not centered within. And that's if you go for them, spend your time trying to develop them. Just let them come to you. Now, if you're in mind, you'll be feeling your rebellion against this advice. Mind always wants to control, to be in charge. It doesn't want to obey or be subservient to anything. Surely not to heart. Well, that's on you to witness, to watch and observe, and to deal with. And if you just watch and observe, the dealing with it will come naturally. If you just be in heart, heart will deal with it. No one can make this transition for you, and transition it is. From the outside to the inside, you are moving, if you so choose. Remember, it's always a choice. And we are all choosing constantly. Do consider staying at the point, the choice point of your life. That would be the now moment. Be really present there, not numbed out like a drugged zombie, just being sheepled around, led by the nose. That's how the programming works. It keeps you outside focused. The powers that be are terrified to have us connecting inside. Go within heart? That freaks them out. They know what we're capable of, course. They're awake. They never went to sleep. They just put us to sleep. And that's behind so much of what they do and impose on this world, is to keep us asleep. It's meant to keep us forever entangled on the outside, firmly locked in the prison of left brain functioning. That's their strategy. Well, just step out. They don't want us waking up to our own innate power and ability. That's their death knell. Well, the death knell for the web of power and domination they've created and imposed. The death knell for the matrix. And they know it. That's the fear we tune into, really. It is theirs. It is not ours. And they don't even acknowledge this. They don't even see it. People, they are projecting that on us. We have nothing to fear. They are imposing what is ultimately their own fear upon us, but they cannot hold us. We are not that. Remember, not me, not mine, not that. They can wipe the body out. They haven't harmed you. But until you recenter yourself into who and what you really are and stop identifying with what you're projecting into the matrix, that energy there, that's the part of you they have a grip on, a hold on. So step into your power. Just keep going within again and ever again. It's that simple. Center in heart. You are guided from there always. Just tune in. No one can stop you. Step up to the plate. Have a good day, a good life, a good now.